wanted to touch on something like a comment that I see a lot on a lot of boxing channels of late, and not from the channel itself, from the comments. I've seen it a lot since Devin Haney got the win over George Kambosos this past weekend. But now there's now you're starting to hear more talk about Javante Tank Davis and Devin Haney fighting. Now we know already. In the past, Tank and Devin had they sparred each other before, and I know a lot of people say sparring is that doesn't mean that's not a definite indicator on who would win a match, and I think that's true because since the spar, both fighters have gotten much better, but still in sparring, it still gives you looks of how a potential future opponent will probably look in the ring if y'all fought in the pros or y'all fought in the actual fight. Now, the thing that I'm seeing is people are asking that question: Can Tank Davis beat Devin Haney? Uh, I see it a lot, and it says absolutely. Devin gets hit too much. If Devin gets caught with the punch or uppercut from Tank or anything heavy, it's nights out for Devin Haney. I think that is absolute nonsense, and I'll explain. I'll explain to you guys why. Now, the reason why you start to see that a lot about Devin Haney is because it's really based on the whole Halen Norris fight. It's almost as if, man, you just can't get hit at all in this sport because the minute you get hit and look a little hurt, people take that and they will never let that shit go. They will not live it down, bro. And the strange thing about that is it's only with Devin Haney. And I just find that kind of odd. It's only with Devin Haney. And the funny and I just don't understand why that is because there's been multiple boxers that have been hit, some by some of the same boxers that Devin has fought, and they've been dropped. Uh Jorge Linares rocked Devin Haney and hurt him a little bit in the later rounds. He also managed to knock Vasil Lomachenko down. George Kambosos knocked Teofimo Lopez down. He's the first person to knock Teo down in the pros. Ryan Garcia got knocked down by Luke Campbell. None of them have that chinny label stuck to them for some reason. I just don't understand it. But it's not really that. The thing with Tank, and I'll say this, yeah, y'all know I'm a fan of Devin Haney. It has really nothing to do with me being a fan. I like Tank too. I think Tank is an absolute monster in his own right. But listen, people keep saying Tank is gonna knock Devin out. He's gonna catch him with something just like he caught his past opponents. They're basing that off a lot of his recent knockouts and stuff like that. Well, I'm just gonna explain it real quick. Tank got those knockouts off of fighters that have lower IQs or flat-footed, stuff like that. He caught Leo Santa Cruz with that punch because Leo has a lower ring IQ than Devin Haney. Leo, he just kept doing the same thing. He was predictable. He was predictable. Obviously, Rolando Romero doesn't have the ring IQ as a Tank Davis or definitely as a Devin Haney. That is why he ran into that shot that he hit Rolly with. That's not going to happen to Devin Haney. That same punch that Tank Davis caught Rolly Romero with, there's no way in this green earth that Tank is going to catch Devin with something like that. Devin is too smart to fall into something like that. He's not going to catch Leo Santa Cruz. He's not going to catch Devin with the same uppercut that he caught Leo Santa Cruz with. Now, it's possible Devin does leave his, sometimes he doesn't tuck his chin in all the way. He's not as bad as Ryan Garcia when it comes to that, but he does do that. And I'm pretty sure they understand, Team Haney will clearly understand that's something that they will have to work on if they're going in there to fight Tank. It's not going to be the same kind of fight. And if anything, you saw how cautious Devin Haney was with George Kambosos, and he still whooped him. It might be a little bit more of the same with Tank Davis. Uh, Obviously, Tank is a much better fighter than George Kambosos. So that would obviously mean that Devin Haney would be even more sharper than he was against George Kambosos. I predict if they did ever fight, that Devin Haney would more than likely frustrate Tank to a 12-round decision. More than likely, that's probably what will happen in that fight. Devin is going to get hit. Uh, Devin felt Tank's power. Tank was much younger, still had the power. Maybe he's gotten stronger since then. They all have. They all have gotten stronger since they have grown into their man strength or whatever have you. But it will come down to, can Devin take his shot? And I don't see no reason why he shouldn't be able to take his shot. Tank will not, the shots that he knocks you out with is the shots you don't see coming. See, there's levels. There's levels to this thing, man, that we call boxing that we love. There's levels to this. See, people get drunk off this power. They get drunk off power. Now, obviously, Tank can box as well, but there's no way Tank is outboxing Devin Haney. That's not going to happen. So the only way that Tank Davis is going to beat Devin Haney is if he's going to have to knock him out. In order for him to knock Devin out, he's going to have to catch Devin with something he don't see, or he's going to have to. That's the only way. There's no if nothing. That's the only way he's knocking Devin out, is if he catches him with something Devin doesn't see. But if he doesn't catch Devin with something that obviously he doesn't see, it's going to be a long night for Tank. I really believe that. And Devin's weapon is that jab. He's going to use that jab. And eventually Tank is going to start getting frustrated and trying to come in. And then Devin's going to start popping him with the jab even more. And then he's going to start probably lacing him with right hands. I see that happen. I'm playing it off in my head. Devin, I can see it. Devin moving around his ring generalship. Yeah, he gets hit. He's not as sharp as Shakur Stevenson on the defensive level, but he can negate all of that with his movement and stuff like that, and his IQ and his reflexes and stuff like that. So that is not going to be an easy fight for Tank Davis. I know a lot of people are saying that because Devin doesn't have the quote unquote power, and then the quote unquote quote he doesn't have a chin. So they think it's going to be just like Tank is going to go in there and just steamroll over Devin Haney. That's not going to happen, bro. I'm telling y'all now, that's not going to happen. And it's not going to be an easy fight for Devin either, because he's always going to have to be wary of Tank's power. But I think it'll be easier for Devin than it will be for Tank. You see, Tank can outbox people, but Tank can only outbox people that he's better than in outboxing. Obviously he's better. He can outbox better than. He can outbox Leo. He can outbox Rolly. He can even outbox Mario Barrios. Those dudes are more like brawlers and stuff like that, swarmers and stuff like that. That's not Devin Haney. He's a pure boxer, and pure boxers give people nightmares, bro. And look at Arislandi Lara. Did you see what he did the other day with Spike O'Sullivan? That's the new Lara. And Lara was much more mobile back when he was a little younger in his career. Now he's becoming more of a goddamn boxer puncher almost. And you see what he's doing. So if Devin was to stand there and plant his feet, he can more than likely get some power out of that. He can become a boxer puncher himself if he really wanted to. But Tank is a boxer puncher. But Devin is a pure boxer, and a lot of times, man, pure boxers give a lot of people problems, man. A lot of people problems because they rely more on their footwork and their jabs than they do their power and their movement and stuff like that. They rely on their movement and their footwork and their power. And if you can't hit somebody because they're not there, that's a big problem. But that's just how I feel about it, man. Let me know what you think. This is Rebel Life Boxing, man. I'll catch y'all later on the next one, and I'm out. Peace.